The UN General Assembly produces dozens of stories, of conflicts, of breakthroughs, and of deadlocks. This year, the big story is a transformation. Let me pull up a picture for you. Now, the man on the left is the president of Syria. His name is Ahmed Al-Sharaa. Before ruling the country, he was a terrorist, a man who fought for Al-Qaeda. Now, look at the person on the right interviewing him. Now, that's David Petraeus. He is one of the most celebrated US generals, also the commander who captured and jailed Al-Sharaa. Just imagine that, the hunter and the hunted together. Both men acknowledged the weird dynamic.
We were on different sides when I was commanding the surge in Iraq. You were, of course, detained by U.S. forces for some 5 years, including, again, when I was the 4-star there. And here you are now as the president of Syria, which your forces liberated from the murderous Bashar al-Assad regime.
At a time when we were in combat, and then we now moved to the discourse. We went from war to discourse. Someone who went through war is one who knows most the importance of peace. We cannot judge the past based on the rules of today and cannot judge today based on the rules of the past.
Now, that conversation happened on Tuesday. It was part of a historic week for Al-Sharaa and for Syria. He is in New York for the UN General Assembly. It's the first time a Syrian president is visiting since 1967. So, the first address in almost 6 decades. But we'll come to that later. First, let's look at the change in fortunes. Until last year, Al-Sharaa was a designated terrorist. The US had imposed a $10 million bounty on him. If he visited the US this time last year, he would have been arrested on the spot. But in December of 2024, he led a lightning offensive. He toppled the Bashar al-Assad regime in Damascus. So now, he was welcomed with a red carpet. Al-Sharaa met with a slew of top US officials. He also held talks with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Then on Tuesday came this discussion, a think tank discussion with the general who arrested him. As expected, the focus was on the transformation. Can the world trust a former terrorist? Can he stabilize Syria? Can he work with regional players? Al-Sharaa tried to address these concerns. He promised to build an inclusive Syria. He also pledged to make progress with his rival neighbor, Israel.
We have made it clear that we will never accept the division of Syria in factions, because this would lead to trouble and risk against neighboring countries, such as Iraq. We have to seize the opportunity in order to reorganize Syria because this will benefit everybody, all factions, including the Kurds. I believe that we have reached advanced stages, and I hope that that will lead us to an agreement that will keep the sovereignty of Syria and also resolve some of the security fears for Israel.
Al-Sharaa faces a host of challenges, like sectarian violence at home, constant attacks from Israel, covert actions of Iran-backed groups, and Western sanctions. So in New York, Al-Sharaa had 2 main missions. The first is to rebrand himself, shift from a radical image to that of a statesman. He is certainly dressing for the part. Al-Sharaa donned a suit and tie throughout his trip, and he also appeared at ease with other world leaders. And this is crucial. Al-Sharaa must convince the world community that he is capable, that he can be trusted to stabilize Syria. In his UNGA speech, he promised justice for victims of sectarian violence.
Syrian state formed fact-finding committees, and it also gave the United Nations the permission to investigate, and it reached similar results with unprecedented transparency in Syria. I pledge to bring to justice all those whose hands were stained with the blood of innocents.
Which brings us to his second mission. Al-Sharaa is hoping to lift sanctions on Syria. The US has already lifted most of them, but the most biting sanction is still in place. That's America's Caesar Act. This act imposed sanctions on the Syrian regime and Trump alone cannot lift them. Any relief will have to be passed by the US Congress, but the lawmakers are split. Yesterday, Al-Sharaa appealed to them at the UNGA.
Most of the sanctions are being removed, but there's a Caesar law that was imposed on the previous regime. This law is related to the pictures of the prisoners. The law is related to the Congress, and most of the members are being directed to lift the sanctions. We are waiting to see the consequences.
The speech itself was a big moment. It marked Syria's return to the world stage. That too after years of war and destruction. Back home in Syria, people gathered in public squares to hear the address. So Al-Sharaa dressed for the part. He also said all the right things in New York. But is he changing anything back home? Well, the initial reports are not encouraging. Just like Bashar al-Assad, Al-Sharaa is being accused of cronyism. He has appointed 3 of his brothers and a brother-in-law to key positions. Plus, his foreign minister lives in al-Assad's palace. Not exactly a good look. Same with elections. Al-Sharaa has promised parliamentary polls in October, but it's unlikely to be free or fair. Political parties remain banned in Syria. Multiple opposition figures have been excluded. Only regime loyalists are being favored. So while Al-Sharaa enjoys the attention in New York, his people face the same challenges back home.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.